Hello, YouTube. This is Janie, and you have found Journey with Janie Hypnotherapy here on YouTube. I am so glad that you've joined me. If you are one of my subscribers, it's such a great feeling to be connected with you again and here in the new year. As you can see, some changes have been made here at Journey with Janie Hypnotherapy, and I hope for the better. I'm really looking forward to bringing you high quality audio and visual journeys that take you deep into your subconscious realm. If you've just found me for the first time, I do hope that you'll subscribe. I have many opportunities for you to change your life in so many different ways. The ways that you've been thinking about, dreaming about, and wanting for probably a very long time. You see, change is very scary for us. Change means something unknown, and to have an unknown is the scariest thing that we can have. We would rather stay in what we do know, even if those things are not working for us, even if those things don't make us very happy. So much of the time, we'd rather just stick with what we know. It's safer and it's less scary that way. But the reality is that you can truly make some big, important, drastic changes even in your life. Just this last year, I made a big move, 3,000 miles away from my home, from where I've been raised, from where I've lived my entire life. I'm from Southern California, and now I'm over here on the East Coast in the South. And it's been quite an amazing journey for me. I've appreciated the different cultures, the greenery, the just change of pace, and I think it's good for everybody. It wasn't always the easiest decision to make, and there were times when I was really banging my head against a wall, but you know what? It worked out, and it's exactly where I need to be right now, and I couldn't be happier. I had to take that leap, and I hope that this is the year where you think about the leaps you'd like to take. Now, in our 2 years together on YouTube, I very rarely speak about myself and my own personal life, but I got to thinking over the holidays as I was thinking about the different topics and the way that I wanted to address my very first video with you in the new year. And one of the things that I felt was missing is that even though I think we've created as much of a rapport as possible between, a computer screen, there are some aspects of my life that I've never shared. And the reason is because I just felt like, really, this is about you, not about me. But I believe that I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't share some things that I hope help you to see that I understand so many different walks of life. I understand struggle. I get pain. I really, truly do. It's one of the biggest things that I had to really come into terms with in my own life is that, I don't get to have an excuse not to be my best self. That was something I learned. It just hit me, like a ton of bricks one day. I was a child, and I knew that I had an option. I could go one of two ways. Based on the history of my childhood, I had already had so much trauma that I really could have gone left, and I could have had a very different life than the life that I have today. You see, I was born to parents who were practically children themselves, and they were extremely troubled at that. They were in no way ready for all that comes with being parents. It wasn't long before I was already in foster care, and I lost my biological parents. Now, it is only of my opinion, but I don't know if there is a greater death than that of a child losing both parents at the youngest of ages, 2-3 years old, when the memories and the bonding, when that space of trust is just being built. And that is the start of my life. I went from foster home to foster home. And even though my biological parents weren't healthy and they were troubled, the real abuse that I encountered didn't start until I was in foster care. It was in these homes that I was subject to sadistic abuse, physical, emotional, sexual, psychological, all of it. By the time I was adopted, as much as I'd like to say that it was a fairy tale ending, it wasn't quite that. You and I both know that trauma at any time in our life is pretty sticky stuff. It comes with a lot of baggage that we have to sort through. By the time I was a teen, I had spent many years trying to fit into this normal, very happy family life. My mother was PTA mom. My father was a firefighter. I had new siblings. I lived in a middle-class neighborhood. I had friends. And I was trying very hard to adapt to normality. I was trying very hard to pretend that I hadn't come from a horrific, horrific beginning. By the time I was 17, my emotions that I had been trying to stuff down caught up to me. And it was at that time that the PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, really took a full effect. It came at me like a freight train. One morning, I couldn't even stand up. My limbs weren't working properly. I started fainting, and the fainting soon turned to grand mal seizures that went on for 2 years. I lost my ability to drive. I lost all of my social life. And I tell you, at 17 and 18, that's about as bad as it gets. I missed prom. I missed going to school. I had tutors come to my home because I was having seizures so often. I wasn't safe anywhere but a carpeted area. That is how I realized that I had a lot I needed to address. Eventually, the seizure stopped, but the PTSD did not. It transformed and it moved into a different space in my mind. It is now, and even until today, that I still battle PTSD. It comes in different ways, and I take that journey each and every day to combat those symptoms as best that I can. But it was a long time ago that I realized again that I could go one of two ways. And the way that I chose to go is that I realized that those things that happened to me so very young happened for a reason, that I could do something with it, that I was in a unique position to really understand people, to understand what people go through, to know what it feels like to be absolutely in despair, to be in the deepest pain, to feel anger and rage in ways that some people just will never understand. I share this with you because I want you to know I get you. I understand what you're going through, but I'm going to say something to you, and I'm going to say it with love and care in my heart. As much as I don't have an excuse, and I don't, neither do you. You don't have an excuse not to be your best self. You just simply don't. No matter what's happened to you, whether it was as a child or last year, or it's happening to you right now, you don't have an excuse not to be your best self, not to use your life, your experiences to live your best life, to be of help and of service to others, to be kind to others, to be kind to yourself. You don't have an excuse. This is a time right now for you to make that choice. As much as we'd like to think that hypnotherapy is magic, it simply isn't. It's effective, and it's amazing, and it's natural. And I could go on and on for all the reasons why I know it would be a wonderful service to you for you to go through this journey with me right now. But I'm going to say this. If you want to keep your excuses, then this is not the journey for you. I can't force you to eliminate them from your life. But if you don't want to have those excuses anymore, and you're just asking that central question of how, I know how. I know how to stop those excuses. And I can take you on that journey right now. With your agreement, with your understanding, with your commitment that the excuses stop now, that this is the time to live your life. As far as I know, we may have one life, we may have 100. I don't know. But the way I look at it is, if it's one life, this is it. This is your one life. Make it count. And if there's multiple lives, then I'm assuming that means we come back to redo the areas that we didn't do so well in the first time. And I don't want to do that. And I wouldn't want you to either. We got to figure it out now. There's a lot of things that can happen to us that we have no choice about, but I'll tell you something, you have choices now. You do. The conscious mind and the subconscious mind can work together to create those changes, to allow them to not only start becoming your norm, but to remain your norm, to move forward and not look back. Are you ready? If you are, I'd like you to close your eyes now and just listen to the sound of my voice. Make sure you're wearing headphones. And let's begin. With your eyes closed, I want you to listen to the sound of my voice and find yourself breathing in and out. With every inhale, you feel a wonderful relaxation and peace, a wonderful feeling of wellness. And as you exhale, you push all of the unwanted thoughts, feelings, and behaviors all the way down and through your feet. That's right. And you relax. Release. Unwind. With every breath, you give yourself permission to let go of the conscious realm. You give yourself permission to find a deep sense of peace and wellness. And you allow yourself to drift into a deep subconscious realm. The body will fall into a deep comfort. In fact, the body will feel very, very heavy and relaxed. And you're going to allow that for yourself. The heavier the body feels, the deeper you are going. And the deeper you go, the more benefit you have. So you're going to be so deeply relaxed that the body will feel so heavy. And the heavier the body feels, the lighter your spirit will be. Heavy and light, light and heavy, heavy and light, light and heavy. Balance, balance. You're going to see images behind your eyelids right now. You're allowing the subconscious mind to show you messages, symbols, ways that your own subconscious mind communicates with you. You see these images flashing before your eyes. In some ways, they don't make any sense at all. In other ways, they make perfect sense. Somehow, like a word on the tip of your tongue. You understand it like a language you haven't spoken in a very long, long, long time. You're allowing your subconscious mind to speak to you now. And every image takes you deeper and further. Every breath allows the body to feel heavier and heavier. And this is a gift you give to yourself. A wonderful gift of well-being. As you're drifting now. Drifting now. You're letting go. And what a wonderful feeling that is. What a wonderful feeling that brings you now. Going to pay attention now to just your toes, all 10 toes. You can feel how much heavier they are now than they were just moments ago. And you're wondering how. How do you have this power? How have the feet become so heavy? It happened without you even noticing. The feet are anchoring you down, pulling you further and deeper into subconsciousness. You're going to allow that now because it feels so good. It feels wonderful to let go. With every breath, the heels, the ankles feel so heavy and relaxed. With every breath, you're letting go, dropping further and deeper. This is your time, your journey. You're letting the excuses go. You're giving yourself permission to be proud of yourself and who you are and how far you've come. With every breath, the body is getting heavier. The calves and the shins, so very heavy and relaxed. Around the kneecaps, so heavy and relaxed. And all the way up into your thighs. Right thigh. Left thigh. Relaxing. The legs know they have nowhere to take you right now in the physical realm. Your journey is spiritual. And so you're letting go. And you're allowing that feeling to take you further, faster, dropping deeper. That's right. Your waist is wrapped in comfort and calm. Your waist feels the weight, the anchor of subconsciousness. The river of relaxation starts at the very bottom of your spine, the lower back. It connects with the spine that is your strength, your courage. The spine is a place where you are confident, where you have the stamina to go on, to rise above, to shake it off, to heal. Feel each and every inch of that spine touched with that river of relaxation. Feel each and every disc relax, release, and unwind. And feel that comfort bloom into your back, all around your back now, one side to the other. The shoulder blades, relax. That's right. Very good. The more relaxed you feel, the deeper you are going. And the deeper you go, the more benefits you'll have. The deeper into the subconscious realm you are, the greater your feeling of well-being will be. Your life is changing with each breath. You are in control. This is your time. Let go. Feel the shoulders that bear the burden of your past, of regret and worry. Allow them to be free of peace. Now peace rolls through them, across from side to side. Allow the shoulders to feel deep peace, free of the past, free of burden, free of what no longer works for you. That's right. Very good. And from the top of your shoulders, slowly over the upper arm, easing into your elbows. Allow the elbows to feel very heavy now. Very heavy. Anchoring you down. Drifting. Dropping and letting go. Drifting. Dropping and letting go. Drifting. Dropping and letting go. Lighter of the spirit. Heavier in the body. Deeper into the subconscious realm. From the elbows, into the forearms, and all the way down around the wrist, right, left, wrapping around the wrists, pulling you deep. And you're going with the wonderful flow of peace. The current is taking you faster, deeper now. Feel the river of relaxation meet with the palm of your hand. The palms are the portal of your energy, your aura. You can see your own color, the beautiful aura that is yours. It is a color you've never seen in this world, nor will you. It is uniquely yours. There is nothing like it, and it is magnificent. It is of greatest value, of greatest importance. It moves around you and through the palms. It connects to everything you've ever touched. It trails before you, introducing you as you walk into space. It trails behind you, leaving your signature with every moment you live. You're connecting to it now. You're feeling it. You're wrapped in it. You're warmed by it. And you're remembering how special you are in this moment. And that beautiful light, that beautiful aura moves through your body from the palms into the very tips of your fingers. Back up past your elbows and into your shoulders. Moves into the throat chakra, your spiritual chakra, your communication chakra. And in this moment, you are aware of what needs to be said and what needs to be heard. You pass the pulse in your neck. And notice how calm your heart rate is. You are so relaxed. What a wonderful feeling that brings you. And into your head, around your ears, to the crown chakra where you are connected to your divine team. You feel wonderful glow of peace and comfort move over your skin, the tender skin of your face, your eyes and nose, your mouth, your chin. The right side of your jaw to the left side of your jaw. And the entire body is so relaxed and at peace. What a wonderful feeling that brings you now, drifting. As I count you from 20 to 0. With each count, you'll go deeper, further, prepared to eliminate unwanted thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, prepared to live your best life, prepared to be your best self. 20, 19, 18. It's balance, mind, body, and spirit. 70, 60, drifting and dropping and letting go. 50, it's wonderful peace and wellness. 40, drifting deeper now. 30, faster now. 12, that's right. 11 is angel number 11. You're guided and protected. 10 is 9. 8, balance, heavy and light, light and heavy, heavy and light. 7, 6. That's right. At 5, at 4. At 3, 2, 1. 0 is peace. Peace. Wonderful peace. Deep peace. And in that peace, your subconscious mind is listening. It hears everything I'm saying right now as clearly as your conscious mind would. There are no excuses. None. Not to live and be your best self. There are no excuses for not living your best life. This is your time, your day, your year for a beautiful transformation of self. to create an opportunity to be deeply proud of yourself, to be of service to others, to be kind and loving to yourself. This is your year. Make it count. That nothing that ever happened to you was in vain. That good came from it because you are good, because you are kind and capable, because you turned your pain into love, love of yourself and love of others around you. That you trust yourself in this journey. You trust that you haven't even seen all the amazing things you can do. You trust your strength and your ability to heal, your ability to stand up, to be strong, to be a wonderful example of the great strength of the human spirit. And what a beautiful thing that is. Everything you hear, you take in as truth. You understand it as truth. You live it as truth. It is your reality as you wake. That you are ready to live your best life, to be your best self. Nothing holds you back or holds you down. There are no excuses, not anymore. From the moment you wake, you are prepared. Your mind is shifted, transformed. There's something different, and it's a beautiful thing. As you eliminate unwanted thoughts, feelings, and behaviors now, letting them go and releasing them into this space, knowing you are set free in mind, body, and spirit, that it is time. The time is now. 0 and 1, knowing where you've been and why, giving yourself permission to keep this wonderful feeling of wellness with you too, as the physical body is very heavy and relaxed. The spiritual body is light and free, heavy and light, light and heavy and full. Wonderful well-being, this wonderful gift that connects you to this beautiful tool of life, of healing, of self-love and self-care. With a deep breath, you bring consciousness back, knowing where you've been, feeling safe and at peace. At 5 is eyes open, wide awake. At 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, take a deep breath. Eyes open, looking right at me. Eyes open. Do a few blinks. Blink, blink, blink. All right, very good. And welcome back. I want you to feel that inhale move all the way to the very top of your head now. And as you exhale, push that exhale all the way down and out the bottom of your feet. And welcome back. It is always, always my pleasure. And I am so glad to be back with you. I have missed you. This is the 2.0 version of Journey with Janie Hypnotherapy, and I have been working so hard to bring you something bigger and better. We're blasting off into 2017. This is going to be our year. I feel it in my bones, don't you? If you have anything that you'd like for me to help you with personally, that's what I'm here to do. I offer my services via Skype or phone. You can go to my website and request that from me, or I can do a personalized audio or video recording for you if you'd wish. My website is journeywithjanie.com, and Janie is Jayni, no E. I look forward to seeing you next time. I will be coming back every week. This is the new Journey with Janie, and I'm so glad to have you with me. Until next time, journey within, everyone.